Unfortunately for us beginner artists, the best teachers in the world cannot save us. While the content that you're learning is important and the teachers matter, having a structured, repeatable study habit is actually almost more important. Without it, it doesn't matter how good your teacher is, and it doesn't matter how vital the information is. If your practice is crap, nothing will stick. When I first started, I was hunting for the perfect study routine, and honestly, I found heaps. But the truth is, you need to try a whole bunch of different methods until one clicks and actually gets results. So today I want to share with you my 3-step routine that's been actually working for me and getting me some results. It's helped me stick to a routine, avoid distractions, and most importantly, actually improve a little bit. For me, this is the most important step. While I'm trying to learn art and start a YouTube channel, I also work full-time with a bunch of 5-year-olds every single day. And while I love it, it is sapping and leaves me with almost no motivation at the end of the day. But James Clear's Atomic Habits has really helped me out in this regard. In his book, he talks about 2 clear ideas that have really stuck with me. You got to make it obvious and you have to make it simple. So I make sure I set up the night before. When I turn my computer on, my drawing program opens up to the document that I need, so all I have to do is put pen to paper. That way, distraction doesn't grab me first, and I don't fall down some stupid rabbit hole scrolling. And I start with something super easy, so I cannot talk myself out of it. Lines, circles, and ellipses. And I set a timer for 2 minutes. And if that's all I do, that's fine. I showed up. The hardest part about starting this drawing habit and keeping it is just showing up every single day. It fucking hurts to break the chain and ruin that streak if you miss a day. So 2 minutes is all you have to do. But pretty much all the time, even when motivation is at a 0, the momentum kicks in and I can roll into a much longer warm-up. But to stop myself from drawing circles for hours, I cap it at 10 minutes. And honestly, this is my biggest hurdle every single day. But if I can get through it, we're making progress. The goal here is just to nail down foundational work. I'm drawing lines of different lengths and in different directions, tracing over that line repeatedly to build a consistent stroke and build that muscle memory. I'm working on spacing lines evenly and then consistently constructing circles and ellipses. It is super simple, but that's the point. It's these macro habits that are the backbone of everything else that I do. And then I can move on to step 2. This is the bridge between my warm-ups and my real study, but it is so important. What I do is I rotate through a big pool of exercises that I've taken from Peter Hahn, from Art Ward, and from Michael Hampton. These are my foundational skills, but I have added one extra step that has skyrocketed my growth. For example, this week I am taking 2 forms and I'm either adding or subtracting from them. I'm changing the addition or the subtraction, or I'm taking that new form that I've created and I'm rotating it in space. And I'm never doing more than 5 or 6 variations. We still want to keep this really simple. But while this is helping me create new forms and understand perspective, this is the biggest key to the exercise. If it looks off, I've got to figure out why. And then I iterate until it gets closer. And if it's not working, I'll save it for tomorrow instead of forcing it. It should be challenging, but it shouldn't be draining. We're transitioning into our real study. And this activity is great because it can scale. If it's too easy, you start adding extra forms or imagining a cloth draped over the top of it. And if it's too hard, work on those 5 basic forms: cylinders, cones, pyramids, spheres, and boxes, and getting them to fit in the same space. And you can set a weekly focus and do just subtraction or just addition, or alternate every single day through these activities. If you're like me and you need to keep it fresh. Okay, on to the main event. But really, I only want to get here if I've done 20 to 30 minutes of warm-up and exercises. Here is where focused, continuous learning happens. What I do is I pick one topic and I stick to it till my brain begs me to change. And even then, I hold out for 2 more days. The consistency forces me to dig deeper into the topic. Right now, for me, figures is that focus. But before I get to what I've actually done to help me improve, there is one thing that I need to touch on, because there is a massive trap that I used to fall into. When I would hit a difficult pose or I would draw something that just looked wrong, I would always start thinking, maybe I need a new course, or maybe I need a different teacher. Maybe this tutorial would be better. Or I want to jump ship and try something completely different. I hope it's not just me, but when the urge hits, I try to tell myself, stick it out until tomorrow's session. Usually for me, that delay kills the distraction and I can refocus and get back to what I was trying to do. Now, while that helps me avoid distraction, there is another part to this that without it, everything falls apart. My biggest hurdle that I found was that I needed to remember that this was study time. What I do now is on a Sunday, I'll spend some time working out exactly what it is that I want to study and what I want to focus on this week. If I get to this point in my daily routine and I think to myself, what am I going to work on today? It's game over. I'll fall down rabbit holes, I'll start hunting for tutorials, I'll get distracted, my focus will just shift to something that is so unimportant, and it always ends in the same way. I fail. So I find my tutorial, I collect my resources, or I open up to the page of whatever book that I'm studying from, and I set it out ready to go. It needs to be there so that when I sit down to actually work, I can lock in. But here is my current flow that I am focusing on this week. I'll start with 1.5 minutes of gestures. Then I'll spend about 2 minutes overlaying a mannequin on top of it to see if the foundations are there. The next part is going to build mannequins mannequins from reference, combining all of those parts. I'm going to trace a mannequin, I'm going to do the gesture, and then I'm going to see if I can construct a mannequin beside it. And now I'm up to my last step of this process and the most important. Lately I've been exploring Artward's methods of manipulating mannequins into more organic forms. Some turn out decent, some just suck, and that's fine. What matters is that I finish the drawing and I analyze them, because this is where the learning happens. And because of that, I've come to a big realization. I've been jumping too far ahead. Before, if something looked bad, I would erase it or I would just dodge it and go to an easier pose. But pushing it and breaking it down has really shown me where my cracks are. So next week I'm stepping back. I'm going to go right back to 1-minute gestures and just constructing mannequins, because it feels like I'm just not ready yet. And I'm in no rush. I can take my time with this. After that, I'll reevaluate and work out what my next focus is going to be. Maybe I'll share it, maybe I won't, I'm not sure yet. But either way, it is a work in progress. 3 steps: warm up, exercise, study. You need to make it obvious, make it easy, and build momentum. I guarantee you're going to see results. Take care.